In the future, blood will be the new oil. Welcome to the cyberpunk future. We kick things off with a plane dropping black orbs. Clearly, Amazon Prime's air drone delivery has gotten really aggressive. These aren't your average bath bombs though. They morph into soldiers faster than a teenager morphs into a couch potato during summer vacation. They bust into a government lab, clearly not respecting the authorized personnel only signs. Inside, they discover vats of human blood, because apparently the government is running the world's least appetizing juice bar. The soldiers want to mess up this blood. Maybe they're disgruntled juice bar employees, but the guards aren't having it. They get taken out faster than a typo in a grammar Nazi's essay. The plot twist? Our soldiers have a serious dental situation. Vampire fangs. Plot twist here? They're hemophages. Mutants with a lethal sickness. I mean, talk about a bad day. You become a vampire and you're infected with a deadly sickness. The cops, being rational people, immediately decide to go all Van Helsing on the leader. Now this sickness, this isn't any regular flu. Stop me if you've heard this one before. This bad boy has been hanging around for generations, waiting for its chance at fame. Some genius in the military thought it would be a great idea to tweak it for super soldiers. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Instead, they got the world's worst sickness outbreak and a bunch of short-lived, super-powered vampires. I bet that guy isn't getting Employee of the Month. Fast forward and we've got health officials treating the infected like they're fans of pineapple on pizza, making them wear bracelets, sticking them in special camps, and eventually just straight up booting them out. Enter our hero, Violet. No, not Violet from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Although they do share a certain fondness for the color purple. She's the founder of the underground resistance, because someone's got to stand up for the pineapple pizza lovers. I mean hemophages. Then there's Vice Cardinal Ferdinand Daxus. Seriously, who names these people? Who's basically the health organization's Thanos. He's got a secret weapon 10 years in the making that he's just itching to use on the hemophages. Daxus is waiting for a courier to deliver this weapon. Next up, we've got this courier, a purple-haired lady walking into a maximum security lab, like she's about to get the most invasive spa treatment ever. DNA samples from her retina, veins, and mouth? Check. A full-body UV light scan? Check. Stripping down and walking into another room? Check. But hey, all in a day's work, right? After all, she's here to pick up the hemophage equivalent of a nuclear bomb. Let's hope her job comes with hazard pay. Our gal Violet is tasked with delivering a weapon to the High Ministry, kind of like your Amazon package, but with a lot more explosives. The boss man at the facility is like, don't peek in the case. Seriously, no peeking. Meanwhile, there's an armed convoy playing tag with some rebels to keep them distracted. In struts Violet into a room that's more secure than Fort Knox during a zombie apocalypse. The lab coat dude, eyeballing her like a suspicious parent, wonders if she's really up to the job. Once she assures him that she's got this, he unlocks the weapon. Violet signs for it with a dab of blood, which is a bit extra, but you do you. Suddenly, a new character enters the scene. Another courier. Plot twist. Turns out Violet is the rebel boss lady, and she's not here to play nice. She's here to swipe that weapon faster than you can say one-click checkout. An unfortunate scientist tries to put a halt to her grand exit, but ends up with a broken arm instead. Violet, with reflexes like a caffeinated ninja, dodges bullets and takes out guards like they're pins in a bowling alley. Suddenly, she pulls out a syringe. Not for a quick Botox touch-up, but a life-saving drug. The facility's alarm goes off like a discount smoke detector, while a second team of guards prepares to greet Violet with anything but welcome arms. Violet, ever the innovator, cranks up a gravity-manipulating gadget and takes to the ceiling like Spider-Woman, raining some serious justice. She makes it to the roof, leaving a trail of guards wondering what just hit them. As she leaps from the roof, she's surrounded by dudes dressed in black, and she whips out 2 katanas faster than you can say, sushi chef. With her enemies defeated, she rides off on her motorcycle, chased by some guards who clearly haven't learned their lesson yet. Her boss Nerve is on the phone urging her to just blow up the weapon, but Violet, stubborn as a mule with a grudge, kicks her gravity gadget into overdrive, and suddenly she's riding up skyscrapers like some kind of motorized Spider-Woman. Now she's being chased by helicopters. She hops from roof to roof, shaking off the choppers like a dog shaking off water after a bath. Eventually, she ditches the bike and continues on foot. She gets a holographic call from Nerva, who's worried she's risking too much. Violet, however, assures him that she's lost the authorities, probably still looking up at the skyscrapers. In the elevator, she decides to take a peek in the case, breaking the #1 rule of Secret Courier Club. Surprise, surprise, it's not a weapon, it's a kid. Violet, probably regretting that she didn't get a tracking number for the package, tells Nerva the shocking news. Nerva reveals that the kid is actually a walking bioweapon, which really takes "kids will be the death of me" to a whole new level. So here's the skinny. Nerva's got it in for the kid. Violet, on the other hand, begs to differ. She's convinced that the kid's more of an antivirus drive than a biological Trojan horse. She believes his blood's got the good stuff, the cure to the hemophage blues. Nerva, though, has a hate-on for humanity that's worse than a vegan at a barbecue. Violet dips out, but plot twist. She's left a holographic stand-in of the boy in the briefcase, while the real star of the show is waiting for her in the elevator. To rescue him, Violet has to go all John Wick on her coworkers. Trying to beat a hasty retreat, they end up on a rooftop that's property of the Chinese mafia. Talk about out of the walk and into the fire. Violet's surrounded by gun-toting goons, but she's got the senses of a paranoid bat. She pulls a matrix, dodging a bullet that ends up introducing itself to the mafia boss's forehead. She turns the rest of the goons into a deadly game of who shoots first. Violet spots the kid teetering on the rooftop's edge, about to earn his wings. With a few soft words, she talks him down from the ledge and another crisis is averted. Just when they thought they could catch a break, more bad guys show up. Violet and the kid take cover in a car, dodging bullets like tax season. Enter Ferdinand Daxus, the big bad wolf, who orders all hemiphages in the building to be wiped out. He also wants the boy back, claiming the kid's his son and lab rat. But Violet isn't buying what he's selling and they make their escape. They end up on a subway train where they can take a breather. Violet tells the boy, "Don't get any ideas, kid. You're not my sidekick, just my ticket to the antidote." Emerging from the subway, they try to blend into the crowd. Violet phones a friend for help, but he bails. Meanwhile, the curious boy's wandering around, trying to high-five strangers. Violet tries to explain that it's dangerous, but she's not sure the message is getting through, so she tries a different approach, asking his name. He holds up 6 fingers. "So you're 6 then," she says. But their moment is cut short by soldiers storming the building. Violet tries to draw 6's blood, thinking his antigen-rich juice could be the key to a cure. 6, however, pulls a diva move and pushes her away, threatening to scream. Violet, caught off guard, takes him to a safer place. She breaks down the situation for him. There's a full-on war between humans and hemiphages. Daxus, the head honcho of the baddies, injected 6 with the biological equivalent of a nuke to wipe out the hemiphages. But 6 might also be their magic 8-ball to predict and prevent their doom. So 6, congrats, you're now the most valuable pint-sized piece of humanity on the planet. So the dynamic duo rolls up unannounced at Garth's hideout. And surprise, surprise, he's a scientist who's all about hemiphages. Talk about being niche. Violet works her charm and he agrees to poke around inside the kid. But there's a catch. The results will take a few hours. Time for a snack, maybe? In the meantime, mercenaries led by Daxus go all party crashers on the hemiphages HQ. The rebels manage to corner the deputy cardinal, but soon they're the ones who are trapped. Only Nerva survives when the villain goes full-on ninja, wiping out the hemiphages at lightning speed. Later, Violet and the boy have a heart-to-heart while watching people launch rockets. Talk about your explosive bonding experiences, am I right? Violet spills the beans on her fave swinging spot along a dusty road, but as a mutant, she's got 0 human bliss points left. The boy, being the empathetic little dude he is, assumes Violet's sickness is slowly killing her. How's that for a mood killer? Garth eventually injects Violet with a pick-me-up and hands her a notebook filled with the boy's scientific doodles. Plot twist, there are no antigens in the kid's body, and the medicine Daxus gave him is radioactive. Yep, the poor boy's basically a ticking time bomb with only about 8 hours left. Yikes. Violet takes the boy to a crowded store, realizing he can't help her goals. She pulls a fast one by giving him a beacon, so the guards track him down while she makes a sneaky exit. But then she's hit by a major guilt trip and decides to go back for him. In the market, shots are fired, and Violet finds out that the boy had put the beacon on another kid who got caught in the crossfire. Cue Violet's "I've made a huge mistake" face. Reuniting with the boy on a stairwell, they're interrupted by rebel leader Nerva, who kidnaps the kid. Violet gives chase but has to kick some hemiphage butt on the way. Finally, Violet reaches the tower where Nerva and the remaining hemiphages are having a cliffhanger party with the boy as the guest of honor. Nerva spills the beans. The antigens are actually harmful to humans, not hemiphages. Violet's confused about why humans would want to destroy their own kind, but Nerva's just rolling in dough from his deal with Daxus to exterminate humanity. Violet's priorities have shifted, and now she's all about saving the boy. Meanwhile, the kid tests gravity by throwing a shoe into the abyss to see how long it'll take to fall. Violet catches on and realizes she's got time to whoop everyone's butt and save him. And so, like a true action hero, Violet goes full samurai with her katana, taking out her former comrades and making sushi out of them in seconds. So there's Nerva, who's so ticked off. He lets go of the rope like it's a sale item on Black Friday. This kid, who's just been hanging around, literally, tumbles into the abyss like a dropped cell phone with no case. After going sicko mode on the hemiphages, Violet's left with only Nerva, who she kindly offers a katana throat massage. In the nick of time, she grabs the rope like it's the last slice of pizza and hauls the kid out of the abyss. She breaks it to him that Daxus went all mad scientist, injecting him with a protein that's causing more internal damage than a Taco Bell binge. The clock's ticking and this kid needs an antidote like an influencer needs validation. Violet, getting desperate, decides to FaceTime Daxus. Daxus, being the classic villain, pulls the old "saving the kid is as possible as finding a parking spot in downtown" card, but offers a trade. The kid for a sickness cure. Oh, and he casually drops that the kid is clone number 6 out of 8, like he's ordering McNuggets. Violet, like any self-respecting action hero, decides to crash the High Ministry's party to find the antidote. But what's waiting for her? Daxus and an army of armed guards, probably bored out of their minds. Daxus tries to gaslight her that the antidote's as real as a unicorn, but Violet knows better. This guy wouldn't let out a sickness without a safety net. Admitting to the antidote's existence, Daxus unveils his plan to spread the sickness like a bad meme, selling the antidote to the highest bidder. Talk about a great business model. His idea is to keep people in fear, easier to control than a crowded free pizza event. Suddenly, the guards start shooting at Violet, but she's unharmed. Because plot twist, it's a hologram. The real Violet's been on the roof, enjoying the bird's eye view. Feeling a bit powerless, Violet decides to take the kid to a playground, because nothing beats impending doom like a ride on the swings. They're having a blast until the kid suddenly checks out like an expired subscription. Daxus, being the persistent jerk he is, finds them thanks to a beacon in the kid's body. He's ready to dissect the kid like a high school biology project, hoping to get his hands on the antigen. Violet, probably feeling like she's just binge-watched all seasons of Game of Thrones, back to back, doesn't put up a fight. Daxus shoots her, probably because he's out of bad one-liners. Relatable. Next thing you know, Violet's waking up on Garth's surgical table, who's apparently a med school prodigy. But Violet's not thrilled about her new reality. It's like waking up to find all your snacks have been stolen. Garth's been crushing on her, but Violet's not ready to mingle. She's got enough pain to deal with. Later, Violet sees a news report from the playground and has a light bulb moment. Guess it's time for round 2. So Argyle Violet spills the beans to Garth, her lab-coated sidekick, that the mini-me they thought had kicked the bucket is actually still kicking. V's got her heart set on a daring rescue mission to snatch him back from Daxus's no-chill, chill-out pad. Garth's gobsmacked, wondering how this pint-sized prodigy survived, and tries to talk her out of this ridiculous plan. Garth lets Violet in on the juicy secret. Those doodles the kid's been scribbling, they're actually the recipe for the cue to hemophagia. Plot twist, right? Daxus probably cooked it up eons ago, and the kiddo just happened to remember the formula. That's like remembering the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody after hearing it just once. Violet, being the softie she is, gives Garth's cheek a comforting pat, promising she won't ditch him like a bad blind date. Then she swaggers into Villain Central, ready for a round of fisticuffs with Daxus's goon squad. Once she's played whack-a-mole with them, she goes all emo and cuts her palms, turning her fresh from the laundry white robes into a scene straight out of a Tarantino flick. The building's alarm system goes haywire, and hundreds of guards barrel out to confront her. But Violet? She's like an over-caffeinated ninja, disposing of them with the grace of a ballet dancer and the brutality of a UFC champion. She finds her way to the Popsicle-ified Junior, and the final showdown is on. V tries to give Daxus the world's most intense facial with her infected blood, and he, in a shocking display of hygiene, wipes it off. In the dark, Daxus drops a truth bomb, revealing he was the mad scientist who whipped up the virus, turning folks into super soldiers. And surprise, he was patient zero. Talk about taking your work home with you. After some back and forth, V lights up her blade like a birthday candle, allowing her to play a deadly game of Marco Polo with Daxus. After a few "oh no you didn't" moments, Violet pops up behind him and delivers a decisive shot, turning Daxus into a human firecracker. Then she scoops up the Cryo Kid. When she had her waterworks moment on the playground, her tears gave the tyke the power to survive. Good news, his cure is going to turn the sick folks back to normal. So all's well that ends well, sort of. I mean, a lot of people died. Moral of the story? I'm just glad it's over.